Ashley Morris, owner and lead tutor at amtutors.com, where we specialize in math tutoring for middle school and high school students. And in today's video, we're going to talk about integers. We're going to define and we're going to compare. So this is kind of our first intro into integers. So what are integers? They are positive and negative whole numbers and zeros. No fractions, no decimals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Also 0. And then if we go the other way, we've got negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, and so on. So let's look at this number line, and let's put some numbers on here so we can kind of get an idea of what this means. So I drew my number line, and as I go right and left, we're going to have to talk about like what that means. But I'm going to put 0 right in the middle to get started, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that should be plenty. But it keeps going, right? Like 6, then 7, then 8. So just make your graph bigger if you need to. Make your number line bigger as needed. Now, as I go the other way, we start at -1 and keep going. So as we go left, we're going to do -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. And as you go right, those numbers are bigger. So if a number is on the right, if you're comparing numbers, the numbers on the right, that's bigger, and the numbers on the left are going to be the smaller ones. So the way I kind of think about it is my bigger numbers, I'm going to have more money, or I'm going to have a pile. And my smaller numbers, I'm going to owe money, or I'm going to have a hole. And that works for most situations. You kind of got to be careful how you word it. Like if they're both negative, you owe more money or you owe less money. But we'll get to that in a minute. So let's graph these. So number 1, we've got to graph -3. So there's -3 for number 1. We'll do that one in pink. Number 2, we'll do that one in purple. So -1. So if I were just to look at those two numbers, -1 is the bigger number because it's farther to the right. Number 3, let's do that one in this green. Number 4, we'll do that in yellow, 0. Now 5 and 6, absolute value. We have a video on absolute value too, so if you're having a hard time with that, go watch that video, but here's the quick lesson. Absolute value is a distance from 0, and it will always make your number positive. So for 5, absolute value of -2 is just 2. And then for number 6, what color should I do? I'll do that one in black. Absolute value of 5 is 5. It's always positive when you do absolute value. So if I look at these numbers, the biggest number is 5 and the smallest number is -3. So if we're going from smallest to biggest, -3 is the smallest, then -1, and then 0, and then 2, then 4, then the biggest is 5. So now you pause, and I want you to try drawing them all on a number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, -4. So let's see. We've got -2. It's going to go here. 3 is here. 0 is here. Now when we get into the absolute values, be careful with those. I try not to do them in my head, especially when I'm first learning. The absolute value of 4 is just 4, always positive. The absolute value of -1 is 1. So I'm going to write down my work before I start graphing it. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to compare which one's bigger. So I'm going to kind of leave it so I can see my number line. I might need to add some more numbers, but there's my number line. Remember, the bigger numbers are going to be on the right. So if I look at 4 and -4, which one's bigger? +4 is bigger. I have $4 versus I owe you $4. So use your little hand and grab the bigger number. Also, if we look, here's 4, here's -4. The 4 is farther to the right. So it's bigger. -6 and -3. Okay, you can absolutely look at your number line. Here's where the money thing comes in. Would you rather owe me $6, that's -6, or would you rather owe me $3? I'd rather owe you $3, so that's the bigger number. Whichever one you'd rather do is the bigger number. Number 3, 0 and -5. Would you rather have 0 or owe me 0? Either way. Would you rather have or owe me $0, or would you rather owe me 5? I'd rather owe you 0 or have 0. Same idea. Excuse me. Number 4, got that absolute value. I want to deal with that before I even think about moving on. The absolute value of -5 is +5. So we've got a 5, and then the other number, I didn't even look at it, but it was a 5. So those are actually going to be equal. Pause, you try. All right, so 0 or -3. Would you rather have 0 or owe me 3? I'd rather have 0, so the 0 is bigger. It's also, look, here's the 0 and here's the -3. So the 0 is on the right. -7 and -4. If I'm looking at it from a money standpoint, would you rather owe me $7 or would you rather owe me 4? I'd rather owe you 4. And if we look at our number line, here's 0, here's -4, -7's over there. This is the bigger number because it's on the right. Number 3, -6, and then the absolute value of -6 is +6. So that's the bigger number. Positive is always going to be bigger than a negative. Having money is always better than owing you money. And then number 4, they're both absolute value. Absolute value of -8 is 8. Absolute value of 8 is 8. So those are equal. That's why it's important to write them down before you start trying to compare. Get rid of the absolute value to make sure you know what's going on. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comments, or you can also message me. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow, all those fun things so you know when we do videos. And if you need some more practice, there will be a worksheet that you can download. And don't forget amtutors.com, where we do virtual math support for high school and middle school students. High school math and middle school students. I hope you have a great day. Bye.